What's my name? Big tunes, look back. Less time, more bodies. What's that?
Check. It's working.
Okay, but you know if I don't interview you, if I just say thank you, I've achieved my goal with these people. Right, Falz, thank you for making this.
You're welcome.
I need to go straight into it, Falz. Why is it important for you to carry Nigeria on your head? Because it's a different matter if you're not already a hit artist with many hits. And in this country, they want you as a creative, as a professional, to stay away from politics. But you know they hear what? Why is it so important for you to carry Nigeria on your head?
I get coconut head. No, but like you rightly said, aside, being warned to stay away, even in like social circles, my friends, like casually, be like, oh, which one be this one we need? But at the end of the day, the kind of artist that I am, I draw inspiration from my surroundings. This is what's happening around me. I have to talk about it. It's inevitable. And for me, I feel passionate about these things that I speak about. And a lot of times, when, like I was talking about social circles and people trying to talk me down, a lot of times people say, these people, what do they fight for? They go still fight you. I'm like, if I were thinking that I wanted to fight for somebody, I wouldn't even be doing it in the first place. For me, it's never even about that. For me, this is just something I feel strongly about. This is just something I don't agree with.
Yeah.
So of course I'm going to talk about it.
So it's about you.
It's about how I'm feeling. It's about compassion.
Wow.
It's about humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it for me.
There's a documentary we are releasing very shortly. And one of the surprising things in it, we did a carousel of people who protested in the 2012 Occupy Nigeria riot. God forbid I call it a riot. Occupy Nigeria protest and ENSA. And we had that picture. I don't think they got it. It's in the I think they're keeping it exclusively, so watch out for it when it comes out. Of you behind your dad. As your dad was talking about, and in the iron, and the what? And you were behind learning what? As your dad was talking. And, barely 8 years after, you were leading a protest. Do you think that if your father hadn't been such an activist, do you think you would have had this sense of compassion, of concern, of all of that?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. I think everyone, both directly and indirectly, is a product of their environment, a product of their surroundings, a product of family. This is influence. This is my first source of inspiration. This was my first role model. So of course there's a big influence there. And to answer your question, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So this, what things have happened, and I don't want to talk about them because you don't want to litigate things that have already been litigated. But, and actually literally litigated. But so I know that you don't do this for people. And I know your dad. The dad has worked on pro bono cases. He didn't even know who it was. We just call him, and it's like the lawyers are busy, but you know what, I'm going to have somebody follow you to court from the Abuja. We have a documentary called WithChude that we released in October last year about ENSA. And WithChude, who is the prophet of that documentary, it was your dad's law firm, the head of chambers in Abuja, that followed us in National Assembly for our first hearing. Your dad didn't even know who it was, just called and said, "Sir, we need them to take it seriously." So when Nigerians, so even though you don't do it for others, when people doubt your intention, Falz, I've been there. When people doubt your intentions, when people say you have collected money, and when they say you've collected money that you know that you have dashed people. So I don't, without any specifics of anything, must hurt.
Of course. Yeah. To answer your question, of course it does.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
So how do you handle that?
I can't, like I said earlier on, you know, even within social circles, people would still say, these people you are fighting for, they will still fight you. You know, so it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. There will always be people. There will always, wherever there is good, there is evil. So there will always be people that will conjure information, concoct what they think other people will chop. And in reality, there are people that will chop. So there's a market for them too. So it's not surprising for me. So what I have to do in those moments is remind myself not to take it to heart. You know, like, bro, no worry, it will happen. You know, say, now so this kind of people be, but you know if you regard them. Also, you know if you waste your voice on top them. Yeah.
So you have to always be ready.
Always. Always. I'm always ready for that. I know, you know, there will always be many more. You know, but at the end of the day, I can't do much about that.
I want to ask you a strange question. I think I know the answer because I've asked you on my show before. Do you regret calling the NSAS protest based on how the government responded to it?
Regret? Hell no. Of course not. Aside just it being...
That's you at the protest.
Yeah, crazy times. Aside it just being, you know, my life mantra to never exist with any regrets. This is a movement that I believe was monumental, you know, in what it achieved, in what it represented more even, what it helped us to see, what it helped us to gather, the momentum, the drive. You know, more than anything, I think this is what I appreciated the most about that moment. And, you know, there's a song that I'm writing that sort of memoirs my life.
At last.
Yeah. And, you know, my friends, my producer friends, have always been telling me to sort of be vulnerable on records. And I've done this in this music. And on this song, I speak a lot about how I felt in those times. Those times were crazy. Those times were tough. You know, but like I said, regret, no. It was a very monumental moment in our history, and I'm so grateful that I was a part of that.
Right. A round of applause for Falz. I'm going to switch it up. Oh, Falz, be ready. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready for this question? Falz, you say you don't have girlfriend. Falz, the thing is paining me. Why? That's all.
I've not found anybody that liked me.
Everybody say it's a lie. Say it's a lie.
No, on a serious note, in all sincerity, it's incredibly tough. It's incredibly tough to sort of have that. When I say that, I mean a healthy love/family life and be in entertainment. It's incredibly tough. Not knowing how to navigate that, coupled with feeling like I don't want to just scatter things up, has resulted in me just sort of staying away. You know, some people will say is running away from commitment.
Is it?
To an extent, I wouldn't lie, yes. But it's one thing to know that you are not prepared for commitment. It's another thing to deceive yourself that you are and mess things up both for yourself and the other person. So it's me just being cautious. Too cautious, maybe, possibly. I would admit that could be, but yeah, I would say it's me just being cautious. Yeah.
Did someone break your heart that so badly?
I've never been heartbroken.
Eh?
If you don't put your leg inside water,
It's not going
can you drown? Exactly.
So you didn't present your heart to the group?
I haven't presented it that much. I've been giving small of it to of it.
I read an interview where you said you've never told somebody, maybe apart from your parents, that I love you.
In a romantic way, yeah, I've never told somebody I love you. It's not like a side P now. Why you say, oh?
Why do you think it's a sad?
It's not, because I'm not devoid of emotion. Don't get it twisted. I have felt. I've said, oh, I really, really like you. I just haven't said, oh, I'm in love with you. Also, maybe that borders on that caution that I've been speaking about. Maybe that borders on that, and just me not wanting to go all in. Maybe I'm overthinking it too, but that is what I would say the reason is. Yeah.
So can you be happy without that kind of love in your life?
Do I look sad?
I have to say, no, you don't look sad.
Yes, now.
Yeah, so it's possible. They tell us it's career, relationships, those are the two things that will make you happy.
Yeah.
And if you are not coupled up, there's some element of happiness you can't access.
I agree with relationships, but those relationships don't always have to be husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. They're friends. They are close friends that we share a lot with. People I can be vulnerable with. People I spend time with. People that are there for me when I need them to be. People that I'm also reciprocating that for. So I don't think there's a void. If that's what you're asking. I don't think there's a void. And do I think you can be happy? Of course you can.
Because you are.
I'm very happy.
You're very happy. So, those people that were trying to ship you and Funke after Everybody Loves Jennifer, what shall we say to these things?
I mean, people will always ship. From the beginning of time, they have been shipping.
Yes.
But obviously, she's somebody very close to my heart. We've always had a great relationship, both working relationship and a friendship. So it's for us, it's just all baptized. So it's usually very exciting to see everything happen. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'll ask you one question. Falz, one last question, but before that, does anybody have a question for Falz? Let me see. Who said yes? Remember, my people have already asked the question, so we get the person, let the person come quickly. Quickly, where's the person that said yes? So, going once, going twice, run. I love you. Come. Okay, come this way. Okay, thank you. Remember, this is our special year. Okay. You're not the speaker. Ask the question. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Falz. My question is actually simple. Now, I have a relationship and you've been in social media. So, I want to ask, what's the relationship between you and Simi? Because
Another man's wife in the property.
before them, okay. The problem between we have several things on social media, Falz and Simi, stuff like that. So,
Okay.
yeah, you know, the internet is finished for her then.
Second, you need to start forward in the chair.
You know what happens in Yoruba?
Thank you for the question. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can take the microphone now before you ask another one. If you don't want to answer, it's fine.
In Yoruba, when you say Obekobami, that means you want to put me in trouble. That's someone else's wife.
Yes.
She's a great friend of mine. We've always been friends.
Yeah.
We made amazing music together.
Yeah.
She's someone that I will always still make more and more music with because she's super, super talented. She inspires me. And yeah, that is the relationship between us.
Right. My last question, you said you are very happy. What makes you happy? What are the things you do that give you joy?
Ooh. I'm a very simple guy. So spending time with friends, football, playing and watching,
Right.
video games,
Alone or with other people?
both.
Yeah.
It's always nicer with friends.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
I like food.
Yeah.
I like to party a bit every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
It's
are
a balanced life. A life that
balanced, very balanced life. Most of the time, you know, when I get some free time, I like to just be by myself and relax because this work is already a lot. But once in a while, it's nice to also turn up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Falz, the bad guy.
Yeah. Daddy. Chef. Words. Fresh. Yeah, I'm not too prepared. Shake the fear. You know, look at Daddy was standing. I saw that red. Was on the bed.